Hi everyone. So there is one thing that already been in a lot of news and trends from the last 1 year, and basically there has been a lot of escalation in war in the West Asia. That Israel is already there is a lot of war that is happening on both the fronts at Israel and Gaza, Lebanon. Hezbollah is continuously firing lots of rockets towards the Israel land, right? So what is the reason for that, and why this thing has there is no way out? That majority of the countries, whether it's NATO, whether it's United Nations, they are not finding any way to keep this war at peace. So first of all, what happened is that most majority of the people, you have known that there was a pager attack and a walkie-talkie attack which was done by the intelligence of Israel, right, on so many militants, or you can say the commanders or the people who are working for Hezbollah. Their basically their official person who are working for Hezbollah, they have been deeply injured in a pager attack and in walkie-talkie attack. So after that, what happened is that Hezbollah has started attacking Israel very aggressively. So in that case, what happened is basically Israel. You all know that Israel do not wait to retaliate. It needs just a moment. It needs just a way to to basically uh, retaliate at any cost. So what happened this time is, after pager attack, what happened that Israel, Hezbollah started firing more than 200-300 rockets. They fired to the Israeli land. And after that, what happened is that Israel, there was a referendum which was sent to the people of South Lebanon who were living in the South Lebanon, at the border of the South Lebanon, who was living. So Israel, basically the intelligence and the Israel government, they sent a referendum to the people who are living at that area, where majority of the Hezbollah commanders and their weapons, their anti-ballistic missiles, their weapons are basically, they have made it their bases in that highly populated area. So before attacking the Hezbollah South Lebanon, Israel gave a referendum to the people that you have to get out of our way, because we have to defend our people. So for that, what we have to do, we have to take out their weapons. So they made an announcement before the attack that we will fire a lot of rockets in the South Lebanon, and the people, the civilians who are living in those areas, please kindly vacate that area, because we don't want to take the life of the civilians, right? But this is just you can say an excuse to basically, because you all know that Israel is a country who is not really ready to make any kind of peace talking with any of the nations. So they only need a moment to basically, they only need an excuse to make those kind of wars. So for books, you can say that they made an announcement to basically make a war at the South Lebanon. So what happened after making the announcement is that there were people who already left, but there were still a lot of people who were not ready to leave their houses. And Israel fired a lot of rockets, and in that rockets, more than 558 civilians got dead in the South Lebanon, in which majority are 50 for more than 50 are children, and more than 94 are women. And that is the highest life loss which was tackled by the Lebanon government and the Lebanon after the Lebanon civil war. So like, if I know that we all know that Israel is fighting for its defense, and Israel is fighting for the people of its country, right? But at the same time, you are also taking the life of the civilians, right? The people, the 500 people, the 500 civilians who lost their life in South Lebanon, they were not the part of the Hezbollah. They were civilians, and you fired the rockets. And basically, what does that mean is that Israel is responsible for that life loss. And what was the significant thing which I wanted to take out of this whole video, and that I wanted to tell you, is basically, after the pager attack, 1600 targets, 1600 targets are pounded by Israeli Air Force and Israeli intelligence and Israeli army, because they are they are basically, they have no way out. So if you will see geographically, Israel is at such a place that they don't have any of the companions at their ally on the border. So for that, they have to retaliate, obviously. But in that, when they started taking the life of the civilians, that is where personally, if you'll talk about me, I can't support Israel in that way, because look, I know you are retaliating and you have to protect the people of your country, but at the same time, if you're taking the life of some other civilian of the other country, it makes you, there is no difference between you and others, right? So if you really want yourself to be a country who wants to take their enemies, just go for the enemies. Like, why you are going for the civilians? Like, they have not done anything wrong. Why they are paying price? Why their kids and children are paying price, right? So there are a lot of explosions, not just in South Lebanon, in Beirut. So Beirut, if you will see geographically, if you will see the map of Lebanon, South Lebanon is obviously the border of the South Lebanon, touches with Israel, but Beirut is deeply inside the Lebanon, and they have attacked their that post as well. And there also there have a lot of casualties, there are a lot of civilian casualties and property life also because of that attack. And what is the most important thing that people really want to understand from this video is that after the pager attack, Hezbollah become very aggressive. So they started firing anti-ballistic missiles and their weapons towards Israel, right? But you all know that Israel do have an Iron Dome, and they know how to protect their people. So due to that, there was not a lot of casualties on the Israeli side. There were only 2 people who were injured after the pager attack, because Hezbollah became very aggressive towards Israel. So they started firing more than 200-300 rockets, right? Just because of the Iron Dome, there was not many casualties on the Israeli side. Only 2 people got injured. And after that, what happening is right now, I tell you my perspective, because I do have a lot of interest in geopolitics and in countries and in relations, and I'm in my second year of engineering. And I remember the last year when I was in my first year of engineering, this war started. Like, Israel-Palestine war started. I was in my first semester, now I'm in my third semester, and now this war has been continued for whole of 1 year. And I have closely used to watch a lot of news regarding that, what is happening in the West Asia. So you can trust couple of my things. I'm not saying you should trust everything that I'm saying. I will provide the resources and their links in my description. You can check it out if I'm saying truth or not. What happened is that I try to give you my perspective, what I think, and why the Prime Minister Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, why is he not stopping? Like, why is he not stopping to basically bombarding the countries of the West Asia? First thing is, after the war, his popularity became one of the major reasons why he's not stopping right now. Why? I give you a very specific reason. Right now, Prime Minister Netanyahu have gained a lot of popularity again among the people, among the Israeli people. And if you will see in India that we, like 2 months back, we had our a Lok Sabha election, right? And if you will remember, just before the results of the Lok Sabha elections, we had our exit polls. And what is the meaning of those exit polls? Basically that we we get an idea that how many parties are winning how many seats. The same thing is with Prime Minister Netanyahu and his party, is that after attacking and after the Palestine-Israel war, his popularity has gained a lot of popularity, and his party is actually gaining a lot of advantage in the national polls. So that is also one of the reasons. I mean, I do know that Prime Minister Netanyahu wants to protect their people. I mean, that's what he say everywhere he goes. But the major reason you also have to understand is a political reason. There is a political reason why he's not stopping right now. Why? Because his party is gaining national polls, a lot of advantage in the national polls. So that is one of the major and significant reason that why he's not stopping, because he knows that if we will continue this war, it will eventually, in the longer run, it will help him and his party as well. So that is the one reason, and from where I can understand, and that is my understanding, that that is one of the major reasons for why he is not stopping. Because if he will stop, maybe there would be a slightly deficit in his party and in his national polls, and his party will not gain attention, right? So that is the first reason, that he is not stopping right now because his party is gaining a lot of attention, a lot of speak and a lot of talks for him, for his party as well, because people of Israel are believing that he is literally fighting for their existence. So that creates a different type of impact on the people, right? And the first and the most important thing is basically the attack increased his popularity, and because he also know that the longer the war will continue, the stronger he will become, because the more and Israel doesn't have a financial, you can say, they don't have any financial, because they have full support of USA. If you will see closely, watch the Israel-Palestine war from the last 1 year, right now Israel is sitting at a place where they are being funded by American government, because majority of the countries in the West Asia are anti-America countries. So they don't, like, if you will see majority of the countries in the West Asia, they are anti-America, and Israel is the one country who is a strong ally of America. So to back Israel is one of the major responsibility that America is doing, and that's why if you will see from the last 1 year, Israel is not kind of feeling any kind of financial instability throughout its economy, by knowing the fact that before the Israel-Palestine war, there were a lot of countries in West Asia. They started forming a very strong connection, very strong bond, and their economic, there was a lot of import was happening between the countries like Syria, Egypt, Saudi. But after the Israel-Palestine war, what happened is that all these things have come to an halt. So basically what it means that Israel has been left alone in the West Asia, and majority of the people you will ask that how the economy has not been unstable for the last 1 year. Like, what is that one reason that they are not kind of feeling any kind of financial deficit? So the reason for that is America, because America is funding its weapons, their the anti-ballistic missiles, or you can say their Iron Dome. They are funding heavily. So that is the reason why Israel is not feeling that financially they are not feeling any kind of problem right now. So that is the reason, because majority of the countries in the West Asia are anti-American countries. They don't have really strong bond. Iran is one of the you can say one of the country which does not like America at all. So to neutralize Iranian effect in the West Asia, America wants Israel to dominate that area. So that's why America is basically funding Israel right now, and they are the war has been continued for the last 1 year. And majority of you also will ask this question, is that what is the reason why Israel is not stopping right now? So I gave you one reason initially in that video, that because Prime Minister Netanyahu has found a key to be at the Prime Minister post throughout this war, because he says that he is fighting for the existence of Jews, right? So that creates a heavy impact on the nationalist in Israelis and liberals in Israel. That creates a heavy impact. So he gained a lot of popularity, and that is why he does not really want to stop right now, because look, the war has been continued for so long that I think it's the time to stop, and there should be a ceasefire in the West Asia, and there should be a halt in the West Asia, but Israel is not doing that. And also, one of the key factors that we as an Indians, what affects India, us, like what affects us, what is the reason for that? The reason is, it's very interesting. Let me just hear out. I will not expand this video for more than 2 minutes. Our Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he met Abbas, the Muhammad Abbas, who was the former Prime Minister, former leader in Palestine. He met him, that too after the escalation of heat in the West Asia. So that creates a lot of just imagine that Israel is one of our ally, right? Israel, you can understand, Israel is one of our important allies. Israel and Russia both are one of our important allies. Why? Because they trade a lot of weapons with us. We actually buy a lot of weapons from Israeli weapons and Russian weapons as well. And that after that, Prime Minister Modi met Abbas in America, in the New York, and he met Zelensky as well, and that too two times in the past 4 months. So that is some sort of sign for the Russia and for the Israel as well, that we Indian, we don't want war, because it is really because Prime Minister meeting the enemies of our one of the key important partners, right? So what is that? What is happening that, right? And same goes with the Israel, same with the Zelensky as well, that both Russia and both Russia and Israel are key partners of India, right? And after that too, after Prime Minister Modi met the enemies of these are of one of our allies countries. Why that is happening? Because India wants to give its impression on the international level that we don't support any kind of war. We don't support any kind of war in which the civilians lost their lives. Because if you will see, in the past 1 year, there has been more than 40,000 casualties on the Palestine side, more than 40,000, which is in itself is a lot of number. And then around million people are right now going through famine. I mean, I do understand that Israel wants to neutralize basically the Hamas and Hezbollah, but in that case the civilians are losing their life, and more than 40,000 casualties have happened in the last 1 year, which is not normal, right? Which is not normal. So India wants to give its impression on the international level that we don't support any kind of war or any kind of war in which civilians will lose their life. So I try to give you a lot of insight regarding what I felt and why the war has not been stopped for the last 1 year, and why the Prime Minister Netanyahu is not at any mood to do a ceasefire, and why is he trying to continue this war. And I hope I was able to make some sort of sense for you throughout this video. Thank you so much for watching this, and bye.